Charles Simons, retired out as a lieutenant, U.S. Navy. Went through the whole enlisted pay grades before I got to be commissioned. And I got transferred to USS Nantahala AO-60. Well, nicknamed the Nasty Nan, the Nantahala. I did a Caribbean cruise and I did a med cruise on that one. So, yeah, there's a lot of work because our captain was he was junior to everybody else. They had the super tankers at that time. What they do, they'd come out there and you'd be delivering fuel. You had to refuel, destroyers every other day, carriers every fourth day, and it was a bit. That part wasn't bad because they have to maintain speed on you. They set you at 12 knots, and you just maintain 12 knots. And the destroyers and everything alongside of you, they gain turns, let turns. So all you end up doing is going a straight line pumping fuel. The biggest problem we had on that was at that time the Russians didn't know how to refuel at sea. And what they do, they used to come with their so-called picket boats, which are nothing but radio with antennas and everything else on it, and they would try disrupting your fueling. They'd come up in between you, or they'd get in front of you and slow down, and then you'd have to have an emergency breakaway and everything would let loose, and they were spying on us, trying to figure out exactly how they did it, because apparently they used to just throw the hose off the back and then they had to scoop it up the front, and that's how they refueled, bow to stern. And we had them alongside, and on the tankers, I mean, you could have a carrier on one side. You had to do the carriers at night, but you could bring cans along the other side all night, and you always had to do it at night with the carrier. So sleep, you get deprived of sleep after you play games. They happen more than people know about. And we did get it. When I was on that, we also got, that was the year that up in Lake Placid, our hockey team beat their hockey team. Actually, everybody think it was first place, but it was actually third place. Because we had to beat Finland or somebody afterwards. But I remember when we were on there, we got a radio message that congratulations, Sam didn't think you could do it. It was signed Ivan. I thought that was rather funny. So yeah, it was neat. But what happened, you get down on fuel and instead of going into port, they'd send this super tank over and they'd dump their load on you. They'd go back into port because their old man was senior to ours, and we'd stay out there floating around. And the ports you go to were all crap ports anyhow. I mean, you had Suda Bay Creek, Naples, Piraeus, Greece. I mean, there are some highlights of my life in those places. But it was all right. Rule on that vessel, I was in the engine room on that vessel. I was a senior third class. I think I made second class on that vessel. I was third class on that thing, but I worked in the engine room, had my own. I was a lower level man and everything else on that vessel. Had 3 or 4 people working for me. Wasn't bad as long as you had a full load on. If it's empty, it's not pretty. They're not built to be floating up on top. They plow a lot of water. So it was all right. You don't hit the better ports on a tanker. You go in where you can get fuel. I mean, so